What does this trade mean for Houston basketball?
It means that Mike D'Antoni, specifically, possibly, I'm not sure, but possibly, Daryl Morey are both on the clock. They got to get something done. I'm just saying you're working for an owner that he ain't applauding your effort. He's applauding results.
Good for Fertitta.
And at some point in time, they're going to have to produce.
The Houston Rockets on the NBA trade deadline made a commitment to the small ball culture in the NBA, trading away their starting center Clint Capela in exchange for Robert Covington, and the league was shocked as in their first game, the Houston Rockets managed to beat the Los Angeles Lakers on their home floor. Conversations started brewing about the Rockets and how they beat the NBA once again, being ahead of the curve by taking risks and taking things to the extreme. However, today I want to explore the truth about the Houston Rockets and why I think that no matter what acquisition they make, that they will continue to fail year in and year out. Drop a like on this video to support the channel. It takes 2 seconds every time and it'll go a long way. And also let me know in the comment section what you guys think of the Houston Rockets signing Robert Covington and the changes that they've made to their lineup. So to start off the video, let's first explore exactly what the play style of the Houston Rockets is. The Houston Rockets are a team led by James Harden, a team that primarily runs a 5-out scheme, meaning that most of the time it's James Harden with the ball, everyone else is at the 3-point line, he's allowed to isolate and play make, which can result in a couple scenarios. One, he takes the defender on the perimeter and finishes with a step back 3, or 2, he gets past the defender, the defense either collapses to him and he kicks out for a wide open 3, or they don't commit to him enough and Harden can go to the rim for a 2 or draw a foul. That is the oversimplified version of the Houston Rockets offense, and here are a couple of examples of exactly what I'm talking about.
He does the game for Houston. In the corner, PJ.
Justifying too, because he was on fire in Utah.
PJ's wide open again. Harden, step back, fires, hits. Back outside to Harden again. Shot clock at 8 seconds. Harden, crossover, back up.
And throughout the years that James Harden has been on the team, there are a couple takeaways from this style of play that has affected the success of the Houston Rockets. As far as pros, aside from the Golden State Warriors, hell, you can even make a case including the Golden State Warriors that they've had the best spacing in the league, as even with Capela on the team, they had shooters from the 1 through 4 position. This also allows James Harden complete freedom and has truly unlocked his potential, as because of this system, he has put up ridiculous numbers the past 5 to 6 years, and over a span of an 82-game season, this is a formula that produces a bunch of wins. I mean, look at the record of the Houston Rockets year in and year out. They've been pretty much a 50-win team every single year. But speaking of that formula, that's also a great segue for the cons of this system, as what I just said exactly explains the biggest flaw in this franchise, in that it's just that. It's a formula.
To be the best. And our offense, and it's funny, you know, they got to change their offense. Well, it's been the number 1 or 2.
Right.
Golden State's the best ever. And we're right behind them.
Right.
And actually, from mid-November on, we were 1 point better offensively efficient than any team in the league. So we're not changing much. You know, we'll tweak it. But to say you got to change, you can't win that way, that's BS.
So to explain, let's just do a real quick math exercise so I can actually use this computer engineering degree I'm working towards into good use. So let's take a look at a conditional statement. A conditional statement is essentially just a bunch of if-then statements. If this happens, then this will happen. And you can create branches from this and create loops. It's very helpful. So for the Houston Rockets to win a game, this is the loop, the conditional statement for this franchise. If Harden has a good game, then the Rockets have great spacing. And if the Rockets have great spacing, then the threes generated from Harden's performance become very good attempts. Most of the time they're going to be pretty open because of what I explained earlier in the video and how this offense works. And if the Rockets are making their threes and Harden has a good game, they're virtually unstoppable on offense. And that's the general, very oversimplified formula for the Rockets' keys to success. However, what if Harden doesn't have a good game? That whole formula, that whole conditional statement falls apart, right? This has been the formula for really any Mike D'Antoni team. This formula of using an elite guard's ability to generate great spacing. And what the Rockets have done to tweak this formula is essentially add an else statement for my programming people out there. So let's say if Harden isn't having a good game, then they run the same system, except they used Russell Westbrook, or in the 2 years prior, Chris Paul. And it's worked for the most part, as we've seen the past couple of years. Albeit no championship, the Rockets have been one of the most successful teams in the NBA. However, if we dig deep into this equation, let's look at this statement. The threes generated from the playmaker becoming very good attempts. While that is true, there's not a guarantee that those threes will go in every single time. I mean, for example, against the Lakers, yes, they were able to beat the Lakers with the system because their shots were falling, but immediately the game after, the Rockets got blown out by damn near 40 points by the Phoenix Suns, and would you look at that, they went 23% from behind the arc, shooting an abysmal 11 of 48. And I know that's only 2 games, and I know that I don't have a chart with analytical evidence of all the games Houston has played, but I really would not be surprised if there's an extremely high correlation between the Rockets' 3-point percentage and them winning games. And that's not necessarily a good thing because their system is so reliant on James Harden's play. And even so, there's still cases like the Phoenix Suns game where despite all the good looking threes that they were taking, the threes they were taking were just not falling. Now I know what you might be saying, this is a problem that a lot of teams have. W souls, I mean if shots aren't falling, then they probably won't win the game. Are you stupid? But the difference between the Houston Rockets and championship teams like the Warriors, the Cavs, the Raptors is that their coaches are able to make adjustments. They don't just keep on doing the same thing over and over again because it's worked for them in the past, especially in the playoffs when every game matters. When you play one good team for 2 weeks at a time and it keeps on getting harder every single round and they can really lock in on you.
I know your thing is always, hey, play his game, play his game, play his game. But when he's 1 of 15, 1 of 16, do you want him shooting those step back threes contested late in the game?
Well, you can tell him not to do it, and he would win a lot of games. So that's his game, and kind of live now with what you got. Now, he has to understand: does he feel confident doing it, or is he? Because he's driving too. It's not like he just steps back every time. Sometimes that's what he has. He feels good about it. Yeah, if I'm going to sit here and say, oh, great, when he doesn't, then, no, that's fine. That's not a problem.
Mike D'Antoni throughout his whole career, while again being an innovator and revolutionizing the game, has shown the lack of ability to make adjustments. Mike D'Antoni coaches a team with the mindset of, here's a formula, I want to run it, we're gonna perfect it, and we're just gonna keep on running it to the ground. This is a big reason as to why he's the perfect coach for the analytically based Daryl Morey, because his whole system is pretty much just an endless loop that doesn't stop even when it should. They just keep on shooting threes even when they're not falling, and Mike D'Antoni's justification is that they've won a lot of games with this system. Why fix something that's not broken? But what he fails to realize is that it is broken when your team's aspirations are not just to win regular season games, but to win in the playoffs and ultimately win a championship. With his system, if any single one of those factors in his formula aren't working, then the whole team falls apart.
They just made, they made a higher percentage. We did a pretty good job in the turnovers. We did everything well except they outshot us. They were 16 for 39, we were 7 for 44. That's kind of the tell of it. And when they make the little runs, we have to be able to hit threes to keep them at bay, and just couldn't do it.
So while the signings Daryl Morey has made throughout the years have been great, I mean, he's one of the greatest GMs this league has ever seen, pulled off one of the greatest trades this league has ever seen by acquiring James Harden. As long as Mike D'Antoni has the inability to make adjustments in a playoff series, it doesn't matter what signing Daryl Morey makes to adjust the formula, whether it be signing Westbrook, signing Chris Paul, signing Robert Covington, getting PJ Tucker and all of these other players, the Houston Rockets year in and year out will always be one of the best teams in the league. Harden will always put up crazy numbers, but the Houston Rockets will probably never win a championship as well.
You've influenced the NBA to shoot more three-pointers, but you also have not yet coached in the NBA Finals. Does a game like this make you lose some confidence in relying on three-point shooting?
No, because the other team's doing it. It would be different if no, not at all. No, that's what you do. That's where the game's going. Now, I lost confidence that, we should have made some more, but hey, no, I don't lose confidence that. No, we got the right formula. It's got to execute it. We got to do a little bit better, and it'd be nice if they would help out a little bit, but it seems like they're not, so we'll get better.
Now, just a disclaimer, I'm not saying this as a way to say that Mike D'Antoni is a trash coach or that the Rockets are a trash franchise. Not any franchise can be a perennial 50-win year in and year out, it seems like. That's not a trash franchise if a franchise can do that. However, I just wanted to simply point out the flaw that's been holding this franchise back from greener pastures. And I don't want to put all the blame on Mike D'Antoni. James Harden has his share of the blame as well for a couple of other reasons. Daryl Morey also has his share for a couple of reasons, and the Houston Rockets role players as well. It's not all on Mike D'Antoni, but in my opinion, Mike D'Antoni is the biggest reason as to why the Houston Rockets will probably never win a championship, while simultaneously also being the biggest reason as to why they've been successful at the same time. If you like more videos like this, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Leave a like on the video if you liked it. Watch these 2 videos on the screen if you haven't already. But with that being said, I'm out. Peace.